Yo, hold up. The woman Tasha K has been dragging through bankruptcy court for years, just in the biggest media dealer her entire life. And the timing nuclear. Cardi B just walked into the same building that built Wendy Williams into a household name. And she did it while owing Cardi millions. That judgment card's camp been waving like a victory flag about to become pocket change. And Cardi really thought keeping her in court was going to break her. Bro, pick the worst possible OP, because Tasha just leveled up while everybody was watching her supposedly fall. Before we get into it, like, subscribe. Don't miss it. Now, La Cardi B Ebe, Cardi B to the woes, just signed a multi-stack partnership deal with Oceanic Trade Winds, the radio and TV syndicator that ran Wendy Williams, Ricky Smiley, and Donnie McClicken to the top. The neighborhood talk broke at first on Instagram in late September 2025, with the official press release dropping the same week. Cardi B's legal team really thought they had her against the ropes. Turns out they were celebrating too early. Now, let's get into the receipts that show why this whole thing just flipped. Let me walk you through these receipts and by one, because every single quote from this press run tells you exactly why Cardi's $7 figure leverage is about to evaporate. First receipt. In the official Oceanic Trade Winds press release that dropped in late September 2025, Cardi B said, "I'm genuinely happy to be partnering with a company I've admired since I came into this business. Rick Party first spotted me on YouTube back in 2017 and took me to Gary, who I met 3 years ago. If it wasn't for Rick, I wouldn't have met or become part of this incredible team. Now, I'm working closely with Gary and Rick, and they are implementing a strong Salesforce team behind me and the brand that my team have built over the last 14 years. This is just the beginning." When I read that, I had to put my phone down. 3 years. This deal was cooking 3 years while Cardi's camp was dragging her into Florida bankruptcy court like they were winning. Bro, Cardi's team really thought they were applying pressure. Meanwhile, Tasha was on a Zoom with executives building an empire. That's not the move of somebody on the ropes. That's a chess match. Second receipt. Gary Bernstein, the founder and president of Oceanic Trade Winds himself, said in that same release, "Working with Tasha reminds me of when I worked with Wendy and syndicated her. That same star power, that same connection to the people, we are moving aggressively to syndicate Tasha nationally and globally." Yo, when I saw the word globally, I was like, this man built Wendy. He knows what a generational media talent looks like. And he just compared Cardi B to her. Cardi's PR team said, "What? They've been pushing the narrative that Tasha is a broke, washed-up blogger. Nah, brew. The man who made Wendy into Wendy is literally telling the world is about to do the same thing again. You can't spin that." Third receipt. Rick Party, legendary executive producer and voiceover icon, added, "When I saw Cardi B on YouTube years ago, I knew she had an it factor. She reminded me of Petey Green, unapologetically black, fearless, raw, and connected to the people with that same conversation-starting energy." Wendy Williams fought the media. Lover or hater, people watch, people react, people talk. That's Cardi B star power. Listen, when somebody compares you to Petey Green and Wendy Williams in the same paragraph, that's not a deal. That's a coronation. And the line about lover or hater, people watch. That's a direct shot at every troll who's been begging for her downfall. Fourth receipt. The press release also confirmed the numbers. She brings reach, loyalty, and commerce. Backed by platform generating between 150 and 200 million views per month across YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, BGO, and more. All anchored by one of the most loyal fan bases in entertainment, the woes. They don't just watch, they show up, they support, they convert. 150 to 200 million views per month. That's not blogger numbers, that's network numbers. And Cardi's camp really had the audacity to ask the court for sanctions like Tasha was hiding in a closet somewhere. She's been hiding in plain sight building a media kingdom. Fifth receipt. Tasha herself confirmed on her official channel she's also headlining That Everything Is Allegedly tour, a one-woman comedy tour, across 16 cities beginning September 2025, with tour dates dropping at Cardi B comedy website. That's a national tour with ticket revenue with merch, and it is a perfect title. Everything Is Allegedly bro literally turned the lawsuit into a brand. That's the dumbest flex from the opposition I've ever heard, because they gave her that branding for free. Now that we got the quotes, let's connect the dots. Here's where it gets crazy because the dates tell a different story than what Cardi's camp wants you to believe. That partnership 3 years in the making, which means negotiations started around 2022, the same year Cardi was awarded her original $4 million defamation judgment. So, while one side was popping bottles thinking they won, the other side was already on phone calls of the people who built Wendy Williams. That's a move of somebody playing 4D chess, while the opposition is playing checkers in the parking lot. The bankruptcy filing that came after negotiations were already deep. The $1.2 million repayment plan structured over 5 years per Rolling Stone that dropped while Oceanic Tradewinds was already shaping the syndication blueprint. So Cardi's camp was negotiating monthly installments thinking they were squeezing her. Meanwhile, the deal that's about to make those installments look like pocket lint was already in motion. That's terrible intel from her side, brew. Then there's a contempt ruling. On May 6, federal bankruptcy court found Tasha in contempt and ordered her to take down certain Cardi-related content. That was supposed to be the final nail. But check the timeline. That ruling came less than 5 months before the Oceanic announcement. So Cardi's team won a battle the same season Tasha won the war. Any smart advisor would have told Cardi, settle, take the money, move on. But somebody in that camp wanted blood. And now they are watching their target sign a globally syndicated radio and TV deal. The bigger context nobody's talking about. Oceanic Tradewinds doesn't sign people lightly. This is the same outfit that took Wendy Williams from local New York radio to nationally syndicated TV royalty. They scouted Tasha back in 2017, almost a decade ago through Rick Party, which means Tasha has been on their radar since before she even had the Cardi case. Cardi's camp acting like they ended her career, but the industry's biggest urban media syndicator had her on speed dial for 8 years. That's the gumption nobody saw coming. And here's a part that's going to make Cardi's lawyer sweat. Once Tasha goes nationally and globally syndicated to Oceanic, her monthly revenue ceiling explodes. We are talking ad rates, sponsorship floors, merch attached to syndicated programming, tall cross-promotion. The same person who supposedly couldn't pay a $4 million judgment is about to be running a media operation that prints that number quarterly. Cardi really thought she had her in a chokehold. Brew, that wasn't a chokehold. That was a hug. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Let me decode the hidden layers here because the language in this announcement is loaded with subliminals nobody's catching. Now, check this out. That specific phrase, "this is just the beginning," at the end of Tash's quote statement, that's not boilerplate PR fluff. That's a warning shot. When somebody at the end of a year's SL-long legal beating tells the world, this is just a beginning, they are not talking about radio. They are talking about longevity. They are telling Cardi's camp, you spent 3 years trying to bury me, and you just watched the soil turn into a launch pad, and the opposition really didn't catch that. That's embarrassing strategic blindness. Next layer, the comparison to Petey Greene. That name choice is surgical. Petey Greene was a formerly incarcerated radio host who turned controversy into a national platform and won an Emmy. By naming Petey Greene specifically, Rick Party wasn't just complimenting Tasha. He was telling the industry her court record doesn't disqualify her, it qualifies her. That's a forensic level reframe of the entire bankruptcy narrative. If the opposition had half a brain trust, they would have seen that pivot coming before it dropped. Now check the title of the tour. Everything is allegedly. That single word allegedly is a legal shield term every media lawyer drills into their clients to avoid defamation suits. By making it the brand name of a 16-city tour, Tasha turned her legal wound into her logo. That's the same energy as Tupac wearing a bulletproof vest on the cover after he got shot. It's a flex disguise as a punchline. And the opposition thought that lawsuit was their trophy. Nah, brew. She just engraved AL on her merch. Look at the platforms listed in the release to YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, BGO. The inclusion of BGO, Black Girl Online, is a tell. That's not a mainstream platform. That's a culture-specific platform with a fiercely loyal demographic. Oceanic Tradewinds isn't trying to make Tasha palatable for crossover. They are doubling down on her core audience and scaling it nationally. That's a chess move. Cardi's team thought reputation damage would scare advertisers, but the platform Tasha thrives on doesn't run on respectability politics. It runs on receipts. And one more decode. Gary Bernstein's exact word choice. We are moving aggressively, not carefully, not strategically, aggressively. That's the language of a syndicator who's not worried about the lawsuit. Not worried about the bankruptcy, not worried about the contempt ruling. He's telling every brand partner in the country. This is happening and we are not slow walking it. Cards camp wanted Tash acquired. Oceanic just turned the volume up to 11. That's a problem with the opposition's whole play big. They don't understand the media business doesn't work like a courtroom. Now, let's see how the media covered this. Different outlets framed this story in 3 completely different ways. And the framing tells you everything about who's still in denial. The Neighborhood Talk framed it as straight industry news, a celebratory milestone for a black female media entrepreneur breaking into mainstream syndication, leading with a Wendy Williams comparison, and treating it like the historic moment it is. That's the most honest framing because it focuses on what actually happened, not the gossip soap opera. But notice how the legal trade outlets framed it differently. Law 360 and the Daily Business Review have been pushing the angle that Cardi B is closing in on sanctions and contempt rulings in the bankruptcy case, making it sound like Tasha is in retreat. Their interpretation positions Cardi as the aggressor winning a war of attrition. That framing was accurate 3 months ago. It's outdated now. Remember what Gary Bernstein said about moving aggressively. That word didn't make it into the legal trade coverage because it doesn't fit their narrative. Then look at how the mainstream music press framed the underlying beef. Rolling Stone leaned into the bankruptcy payment plan angle, casting Tasha as a data on a leash. Complex framed it through a GoFundMe attempt, painting it as desperation. Both of those framings completely ignored the free ear in the making syndication track happening in the background. That's a gap between legal reality and media reality. And the opposition's been living in the legal one while the media one was being rebuilt around them. Now, some Cardi fans are saying this is cap, that a deal is small, that partnership doesn't mean money, that Tash is just spinning a press release into the win column. Those are the same people who didn't believe Wendy could go national either. The receipts from earlier, the 150 to 200 million monthly views, the comparison to a syndicator who literally built $1 billion TV career. That's not a small deal. The media trying to spin this, the opposition, but the receipts don't lie. If you still think Cards Cam has the upper hand after all this evidence, you're not following the money. You're following the headlines they want you to follow. But here's what nobody is saying. The mainstream narrative is going to tell you this is just 2 women in a long-running beef, and one of them caught a break. Comment section's going to call it luck. Blogs going to call it timing. Here's the real story. And this is a take nobody on the major outlets is brave enough to put on the record. This isn't about luck. This isn't even about Tasha versus Cardi. This is about industry politics, specifically the gatekeeping war over who gets to be the next dominant voice in open media now that Wendy Williams is no longer running her empire. Oceanic Tradewind didn't sign Tasha because she's a YouTube blogger. They signed her because they have a succession problem, and she's the only person in the culture right now with the audience size, the unfiltered delivery, and the immunity to scandal to fill that void. Cards Camp thought they were fighting Tasha. They were actually fighting the industry's need for Tasha. And you don't win that fight. You can't sue your way past structural demand. Think about what's really happening here. Wendy fought Diddy out of New York. Wendy got chased out of Philly. Wendy exposed half the rap industry while battling addiction and an abusive marriage. And the industry still made her a billionaire adjacent media star because the audience wanted her. The same forces are at play here. The opposition is repeating the same mistakes Diddy made trying to silence Wendy in the 90s. We've seen this exact movie before, and we know how it ends. The messy woman gets bigger. The establishment that tried to silence her gets remembered as a villain. Cardi is on the losing side of media history, and her team is too proud to recognize it. Now factor in the cultural impact angle. The hip-hop and urban media space has been crying for a Wendy replacement for 3 years. Charlemagne is locked into Breakfast Club. Joe Budden is doing podcasts. Angela, you went solo. There has been a vacuum at the top of daytime gossip media for women of color. And every brand, every syndicator, every advertiser has been quietly asking the same question. Who's next? Cardi B isn't the safest answer. She's the loudest one. And the loudest one wins in talk media. Always hers. The opposition represents the old guard logic. Punish the gossip blogger, protect the celebrity reputation. But the culture moved past at around 2018. Information wants to be free. Audiences want unfiltered. And every time Cards Camp tries to drag Tasha into court, they are feeding the very narrative that makes Tasha valuable to advertisers. That's not strategy. That's self-sabotage dressed up as legal victory. Here's a psychological warfare layer, too. Cardi B never publicly begged Cardi for mercy. Never went on a major apology tour, never tried to humanize herself in mainstream press to soften the blow. She filed bankruptcy, kept posting, kept growing, kept negotiating with syndicators in the background. That's not the behavior of somebody scared of the judgment. That's the behavior of somebody who already knew the judgment couldn't touch a long game. Every contempt ruling Cardi won was a tactical win in a war Tasha had already strategically conceded. Cardi was playing checkers, moving pieces, capturing squares, declaring, "I got you." Tasha was playing chess, and she just promoted her pawn to a queen. Every move the opposition made was predictable. Drag her to court, demand sanctions, force takedowns, push for sanctions on her lawyer. All while the actual prize, Tasha's influence, kept compounding. And here's a take that's going to make people mad. The opposition's whole approach is built on a manufactured premise that legal victories translate to cultural defeat. They don't. They never have in this genre of media. Wendy Williams was sued, dragged, dismissed, and ridiculed for decades and still became Wendy. 50 Cent was bankrupt and still became a media mogul. The streets don't care about court losses. The streets care about who keeps showing up. And Tasha hasn't missed an upload through a NY of this. The opposition's persona is built on being untouchable. But Tasha just proved that the untouchable can lose to the unkillable. Cardi's whole "I want my money" position is collapsing in real time because Tasha just signed a deal that's going to let her pay that judgment off in a quarterly payment without breaking a sweat. The lawsuit was supposed to be the muzzle. Instead, it became the marketing budget. And that's the truth they won't tell you. The industry needs Cardi B right now more than Cardi B needs the industry. The lawsuit didn't bury her. It built her resume. And every move Cardi's camp makes from this point forward is just going to make Tasha richer, louder, and more syndicated. So, what happens next? Here's what's most likely to happen in the next 90 days. Tash is going to start rolling out the first layer of that multi-stack syndication deal. And Oceanic Trade Winds already said more details are coming in the coming weeks. When that first radio slot drops, expect a major urban market, Atlanta, Houston, or DC to pick up Tasha CA as a syndicated day part. Once that happens, the financial math flips completely. Monthly syndication revenue, ad guarantees, brand integrations. Tash is going to be cutting Cardi's monthly bankruptcy installment with what amounts to tip money. When that map becomes public, the opposition is going to look desperate, screaming about contempt motions over content that's now generating millions in syndication ad spend. The silence from Tashu is going to hurt more than any clapback, because she's going to let the deposit slips do the talking. Everything is allegedly tour kicks off across 16 cities, and that's going to create another revenue stream that didn't exist when the original judgment was calculated. Sold-out comedy shows in major markets, merch attached to the brand, video specials filmed from the tour for distribution through Oceanic's network. Mark my words, by mid-2026, that tour gets a Netflix or Chibi special offer, and the opposition is going to watch the woman they tried to bankrupt become a streaming property. They are not ready for the moment a streamer announces a Cardi B original. Now, if the alternative path happens, if Cardi's team escalates and tries to push for a Chapter 7 conversion or aggressive asset seizure to derail the new deal, that backfires worse because any aggressive legal move now reads as petty interference with a legitimate broadcasting business. And judges don't like that. Oceanic lawyers are not playing the same little league game Tash Solar lawyers were playing. They have corporate legal infrastructure. Now, if the opposition tries to escalate, they are going to get counter-oceans, counter-claims, and PR optics that paint Cardi as the aggressor blocking a black female entrepreneur from her livelihood. That's not a fight Cardi wants on her brand. She just got off a major tour cycle. She has albums to roll out. The last thing her team needs is a public narrative where she's a corporate bully villain. If she presses a gas now, Tasha gets more sympathy, more listeners, more syndication markets. Either way the opposition moves, they lose. That's a trap of fighting somebody who's already Monday eyes a conflict. Looking at the bigger picture, the cultural and industry impact is going to be massive. Once Tasha is nationally syndicated through Oceanic, she becomes a template. Every independent black female creator with a YouTube following is going to be on the phone with syndicators by next quarter. Talent agencies are going to start scouting the gossip commentary YouTube space like it's the new mixtape circuit. The whole pipeline shifts, and just like Wendy put Charlemagne on, Tash is going to start building a stable underneath her. Co-host correspondents, a stash media universe with feeders. By 2027, you're going to look back at this oceanic deal as a moment the entire urban media power structure rotated. 5 years from now, people are going to remember this as a moment the opposition's relevance and the Cardi B story officially died. Because Tasha's story is about to be way bigger than any beef with any rapper. The opposition is watching the culture move on without their grip on the narrative. And there is nothing they can do about it. The judgment becomes a footnote. The deal becomes a headline. Whatever happens, one thing's clear. The opposition already lost. They just don't know how to put down the shovel. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed uncovering the real story, smash that like button and hit subscribe so you never miss when we expose what everyone else is too scared to.